Welcome, guys. Welcome back, everybody. This is your boy Serge, and once again,
Livio Midrigan here. Beautiful day out today, in the great Washington state.
Pacific Northwest.
That's what I'm saying.
And what would you say? The last video was a success. I mean,
I say they're pretty good,
we're
for our
starting,
first podcast
No,
episode.
we're starting. I think it'll get better and better from here, personally.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways, let's get on with our topic and our story.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So today's topic is going to be influence of our family and influence of our culture on us. Now, we're going to start off by saying a couple stories out of our own lives. And the stories start like this. There is immigrants across the sea living in a place called Moldova. Moldova is located by Ukraine and Romania, right? I got that right.
I mean, that's what the map says, so I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, these immigrants, they decided that they're going to move to America and pursue a better career, different, options and work and, make money initially. And everybody had that thought and that mindset just to come to America. My parents are those immigrants.
And so are mine.
To be honest, everybody listens or hears, people that are born in America or Americans. I would say they don't understand what it feels like to come to a different country. Everything's different
culture, everything.
Metric units, whatever
Meters, liters, and grams.
Yeah, and you normally hear the stories of, Mexican people coming from Mexico. You hear Asians, you hear Russians coming from Russia. Technically, Russians are Asians. I mean, and what you don't understand is how deep it goes. What the thought process is, or the way when like immigrants come to America, what they expect and what they initially want and need. So my parents come here in about 1999, I believe, and I was born in 2000. So I'm an American citizen, as everybody knows.
I am Moldovan, born in Moldova, moved here. Now I'm an American citizen.
Yep, that's good. But these parents of mine, my parents, they sort of believe that they're going to find, happiness. They're going to make money. They're going to succeed and technically live the so-called American dream. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
So when they came to America, they had sort of money. They wanted a big house. They wanted everything. They wanted everything that Americans have. It's all over the movies that America is such a beautiful place and America's this, America's that. But the reality was when they came to America, it was a whole different world, a whole different place. And over time, my dad, mom, they raised us good. They took care of us. They provided. My dad provided. My mom provided. And we grew up to be good kids.
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
But if you look into the whole past, the stuff that they went through is just insane, bro. First of all, we all know that when immigrants come here, most of them, they have nothing. I know it's a stereotype that when you see a Russian person or a Russian or a Slavic person come to America, you'd be seeing them on BMWs and Mercedes and everything. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, 100%. Okay, maybe 99% of those people bought it with their last money, or it's on payments.
Well, I mean, most of the young people, especially like young people our age that come here, the first thing they do is when they get some money, they buy like a German car, like I don't know, 2005 BMW
Yeah, and
M3 or some 3 Series.
It's not bad, but it's just it's a stereotype. Like
Well, I mean,
when you see a Russian
it's
guy,
a stereotype, but also at the same time, it's like, it's not a stereotype because they actually do it.
yeah, no, it's true, yeah. And I remember growing up, going to school and stuff. My classmates, my peers, my friends at school would be like, "Oh, you're probably one of those rich guys. Russians are always rich, or Slavic people are always bougie and this and that." But deep inside, it wasn't like that growing up. First of all, our mentality when people of our culture come to America, well, most, I'm going to tell you the difference between now and when they came. So when they came, they had this mentality is work hard. And if you had kids, it was harder. So that means work even harder, provide, and trying to make it. But it was so hard. You look over the years that when our parents came, it wasn't like, oh, we had money to buy a big house. We had money to buy nice cars. We tried making a living. And most people that come here of our culture, and I noticed that to be in the Asian culture too, is they know how to save money.
Oh yeah, like when my family came here first time to America, I was about 8 years old, and like my parents still bring this up sometimes. They had nothing, literally nothing. Like all we had was a couple of suitcases with our clothes, and that's about it, and barely any money to our names. Like this house that currently I live in is the first house that we stayed at when we came to America, and then we ended up buying it like a couple of years down the line.
And when people do come here, they expect right now, especially, I'm going to call out the Slavic community, the Ukrainians that are coming to the U.S. right now. I'm not saying all of them. I know a couple people, but they are literally thinking everything is going to be handed to them on a platter.
Yeah, they think it's easy and everything. Everyone here just chills and money comes to them. Like I was talking to some guy and one of my girlfriend's family members, he owns his own construction business, and there's some guy that came to America and started telling him, he was like, "Oh, I thought all you guys do is just sit and chill and do whatever you want and make money." And then he was like, "Nah, bro, you don't. You gotta. It's hard work. You gotta set yourself up and get money, not freaking right away. Just come to America and money comes to you." Nah, that's not how it works. You still gotta work hard.
Yeah, and most of my friends, most of my family, they all came here, and from scratch, they boosted themselves by creating businesses, by trying different things. My dad personally, he had already 4 kids, and he was trying different things. We went from he had drivers, truck driving, and then stuff happens. This goes bad. He tried different things. We had a whole soda company in Washington. We had a whole soda company. And at first, you have this ambition. My dad had this ambition, and everything's gonna work out. But boom, doesn't. And he doesn't just stop there, And that's one thing how my dad influenced me. A lot of people our age, you be seeing them, bro, straight up our age, they're just chilling at home, playing games.
Not a care in the world.
That's what I'm saying. And they think because they're on unemployment, medical, all that BS that's happening right now, this is given to them for free. They think they're just going to live life like that for the rest of their life, you know?
Yeah, no, that's gonna run out, and then they're gonna be biting their thumbnails. You know, what are they
Yeah.
gonna do? Like me, when I sit at home, like right now, I'm waiting for another job to open up, and I'm sitting at home. I'm literally going to say, and I've barely been home for a week, and I'm like, let me just get back to work already. You know, I feel like I'm still trying to do different things. You know, to find other ways to make money, but it's not the same. Like when you're not making constant money, it just you feel like you're kind of useless. At least for me, like if I know I'm not making money, like for let's say for a couple of days straight, you know, I feel kind of lazy and unproductive. Like, you know, I always gotta stay on top of my game, trying to make that bread.
And this really sucks. Gen Z, our generation, they are taking this for granted, bro. Straight up. There's so many opportunities out there. I know people younger than me already have full on businesses and construction and different things, while people my age are just chilling at home and watching a TV show.
Yep.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we can't be lazy, and that's with every person. You know,
Well, I
but
mean, depends. Not late. We're like,
oh yeah, not lazy, but like laid back.
take
or
breaks every now
take
and then.
breaks.
That's
Yeah,
not bad.
and I 100%. You need a break. You need to go on vacation, and then also there is people that are way too hardworking to the point where they already got their whole retirement planned out. You know, to age 25, they're trying to retire already. I'm like, bro, live life.
I mean, I wouldn't be bad, you know, retire at 25.
No,
I wouldn't mind it, but as long as I keep on working, find something else to occupy myself with, I wouldn't mind being retired at 25, to be honest.
yeah. But anyways, let me go back to the story. So my dad initially, so many different things, right? And it goes like this for everyone. It's not just because he's an immigrant, but you got to keep on trying and try until you succeed. And you'll know you succeed, you know. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff you own or this or that. But most important thing when immigrants come to America is to support their family, and that's technically it. Or, you know, straight further than that, but I'm just saying like the mentality. You don't come here just thinking everything is going to be given to you on a platter, which I strongly, strongly dislike that, bro. And I'm not just talking about our people, you know, putting people on blast, but there's people coming from different parts of the world and they're just wanting everything given to them.
Yeah.
And what sucks is like you go back to when we went back to Moldova, we went to visit when I was like 16. That's when I was already understanding stuff, different. You know, once you grow up, you get smarter and you understand certain things. And I remember my mom just coming to one of her old friends or something and straight up telling her like, "Oh, you probably look so tired," or you know, she looked tired. Like she looked like she worked the whole day, and she just looked tired. And you know what she said? She had the audacity to tell my mom that, "Oh yeah, it's not like America. You just sit at home and everything's given to you." I'm like, bro, what? Like it's the mentality they have there. It's bad, but it's
Oh yeah,
not
because like we're in
not
Moldova, where we're from, over there it's not as much as it is here. Like over there, you actually have to work. It's not a lot of people. Well, a lot of the young generation right now in Moldova, they're all like doing tech stuff like computers. There are actually a lot of programmers coming from Moldova and Romania that are working for companies here overseas, but they're not getting paid nearly as much as they would if they were working here. Like the average wage in Moldova is about a couple like $100, $200 a month in Moldova compared to here. But their system is a little bit different. Like, for example, my grandparents, I still have my grandparents from my mom's side that still live in Moldova. The way they make money is they literally herd like sheep, cows, different animals. They sell plants, stuff like that. It's like kind of how you see like old movies, you know, where they barter for stuff for different items. That's kind of how it is in Moldova for some parts. Like not in the city, but like I grew up in the country, and that's how it is there. And it's completely different than how it is here. You know, it's not like a barter system here. It's cash system. And over there, they think that, oh, because we don't do all this hard work with like animals, whatever, plantations, everything like that, that we have it easier here. But in general, it's not like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than that, than what it looks
And
like for them.
another thing is, we gotta end this technically stereotype is when you see a Russian guy or a Slavic person. Most Americans think just because he's Slavic or even like Asians sometimes get stereotyped. Oh, they're hecka rich, or But deep inside, they struggle to get to that point. I'm not saying everybody struggled. Some people maybe were born into, being wealthy and stuff. But it's just they hustled, you know. And that's one thing we don't realize in our generation, the generation growing up, and we take it for granted, 100%. And this is why I say, whenever people ask me like, where, how can you do this, business wise, who taught you? And I'm gonna be honest, my dad. I get all the inspiration, everything I need from my dad, and that's one of the most best blessings that I was born in a family like that, where we actually have a father figure, and we don't have someone, just letting us slide and sit on our butts and play games.
Yeah, like my dad, he gets pissed at me if I stay home for too long, and that's all. Like that's how it kind of grew me to like be angry, not like angry, but like, well, I guess maybe angry, but like when I sit at home too much, I'm like, my dad's gonna be angry at me because I'm not working, and then instead of being that right now, I'm like, wow, I feel lazy because I'm not working right now, and part of it came from my dad, like always pushing me to do more, and I don't mind that at all.
Louis, not the cab. Both of your parents, both of your parents would whip at this point.
For what?
I'm joking.
1 minute.
So, and my next thing is also when they came here, it's a big cultural thing. Shift, yeah, divide, or not divide, but like shift. You're right. One thing I'm gonna say is when our parents came to America. First of all, language barrier, the way we look and dress, way different from Americans. You could tell a Russian man or a Slavic person a mile away, especially if he's fresh off the boat. You could tell he's fresh off
And
the
you
boat.
could tell vice versa too. Like if you visit from here to there, they'll think you're American even though you're Moldovan or Russian or whatever.
Yeah, straight up.
And like over here, you could tell if you're Russian or American. Like I go to a store and I'm like, oh, that guy's Russian. Oh, that guy's Russian.
No.
It's easy to spot. And like back in Moldova, they're like, oh, I like how you dress, blah blah blah. And then over here, it's like, oh, you look like a fob.
And let's just say when my dad started working, he first worked at this spot called Milgard Glass. They produce windows and different I think sliding doors. I don't remember what exactly he did, but there's this one story that really hit me. So when my dad came to America, that was like one of his first jobs, hustling, and he went to work at Milgard. And when he did work, the manager, because it wasn't just him that was working, it was like a group of FOB immigrants that came, and the manager's like, stop eating onion, garlic, no onion, like telling my dad, because that's what most like, I don't know, just the scent. The Russians eat garlic or onion in the morning, or it's a stereotype, but it's true. Like there is a lot of people that have
They
that.
do, yeah. And like
breath.
when you're sick, you put a raw onion in your room. We don't do that anymore, but we like back then when we were like still, that fob mindset, because we
have our
we're
own
not
medicine.
fresh off the boat anymore.
We have our own medicine.
Yeah. Like even I remember when I was younger and I got sick one time. I still remember the story. My parents made me eat a whole raw potato because I don't remember how. I think I was just like have a cold or something. But I remember back in Moldova they made me eat a whole raw potato and all the kinds. Like, I don't want to eat the potato. I don't want to eat it. It's like, I don't know. It's completely different. Now it's like, here, take these pills, take this, take some spray for your throat to clear it up, and you're good to go, or like NyQuil, whatever.
Yeah, no, our medicine is different from
Yeah,
their
our medicine all
from the
natural,
American medicine.
not all this chemicals and these
NyQuil,
modern medicine.
NyQuil and ZQuil and all the stuff that people take. Yeah, no, our medicine is different, and that's not just in the Moldovan community. That's in the whole Slavic community. Ukrainians, Russians, Romanians, you name it. They all have their own medicine, and this is the thing. So not only did they come here with nothing, but they kind of had this not racist. I wouldn't say it's racism because that's like playing a victim, but they were just sort of just below the American
Standard.
yeah, American standard. And no matter what, like, yeah, that the stuff happens, and we saw it all over the years that a lot of people would get fired at different jobs. Like, there was this guy that would do trucking, and once like a load is hit, or there's a damage on the load, most stores don't take it. Mm-hmm. And the company he was working for, they told him, they're like, yeah, just throw it away. He comes to the company, to the warehouse, and they're like, just throw it away. He's like, nah, let me just keep it. It was like flour and sugar, and I guess the store was for Myers or someone that didn't want to take that load. And he's like, I'm not going to throw it away. And the manager's like, you either throw it away or you're fired. He's like, let me explain to you why I'm not throwing it away. When I was younger, having sugar was like you having a Lamborghini. It was like sugar, I don't know if your parents told you this, but mandarina, mandarins, tangerines, they were such a big thing. It was like a whole different, I don't know how to explain it. It was like something that nobody ever had. Pineapple. In Moldova, a pineapple was like us having gold covered chocolate or something. It was something really precious. And he told him, he's like, I'm not going to throw it away because my parents couldn't afford this when I was younger. And the manager's like, he teared up or something. He's like, yeah, no, we're going to start a food bank. And then after that, they started giving it all out to food banks or something like that. Just, giving it out and not throwing it away. But imagine the way we think and the way we're born and the way we're taught when we're younger and come into a whole different country. We sort of have this idea that, the Americans are kind of, I'm not gonna lie, like a little stupid. Like, I'm just gonna say it. It's just the way we process it. It's like you see an American guy just throwing away bread. It's just stupid, And I was raised like that. I was raised how to save money, how to take care of things we have, how to, if there's something like bread or something left over, we wouldn't throw it away. We would have chickens or we would have ducks and we would feed them with that. But there's no way that I've ever seen my mom in my life throw away bread.
Yeah, it's a sin.
It's a sin. And I'm not just saying it just from a religious background, but there is people that I do know that aren't really Christian, and they were raised like that too.
Yeah.
By parents that not really religious. It's just these like the what is that word? It's the they keep these standards, and it doesn't just have to do with let me bring up another example. So like me growing up in school, they would give us chicken wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be the weirdest thing for like my friends to see me clean the bone, you know. And
Can't waste that food, you know.
for us, it's like it's a normal thing. We don't think that's bad or that's weird. But my friends, I'm not saying they hated on me because of that, but it was just like weird to them.
I remember when I was back in school, in elementary school, I always like ask for food because, I've never ate like the American food because back in Moldova, I was there till about end of second grade, and we always get fed like borscht and a bunch of like Eastern European food and stuff, And then when I came to America, we always had like pizza or like cheese sticks and all that stuff. And I thought I was like, wow, this is some good food. And like I saw all my like classmates and stuff that always have like, what's it called? Like those, what's it called? Applesauce or like candies, like not gushies and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, can I get one? Can I try one? And half of them would say like, no, because they were like selfish in a way. And because like another thing is like because I always asked when I was younger for like to try their food and stuff. That's why it kind of like shaped me to like not want to ask for anything right now. Like I don't really like asking for help or for any kind of handouts or anything like that. It like kind of shaped me to how I am right now. I don't really like asking for help or nothing like that. And I like giving help. If I like when someone asks me for help or for anything they need, I like it. But like when it comes for me to ask for help and stuff, I'm like, nah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I am like that too. I like giving presents, but sometimes it's cool getting presents, but it's like
it's nice.
Feels
but,
weird. I don't know for me personally. All right, I want to also bring this up for the people that are listening. Is also I'm speaking to the younger generation. Our generation isn't it weird when we're growing up? Our parents would in a way make us believe certain stereotypes or about the American people. Like I was growing up, and it's like let me just give you an example. So I was always scared to say the word for black in Moldovan, negru, in public.
I mean, I still am.
No, I mean you shouldn't be, but me growing up, like we would go to the mall or something, and I'm like, I want the black one, black shoes, black that. Mm-hmm. And me saying that in Moldovan, my dad's like, or my mom's like, don't say that, There's black people here. I'm like, what? And I always wonder, I'm like, why is it their thought process or why are they thinking like that? It's not because they're racist. It's just
they don't want people to take it the wrong way.
Yeah. And they have respect for other cultures and other skin color, and it doesn't just apply to black people in general. Like Asian people would say like Chinik or something like we would go to a store and there's certain things that you can't say in Russian and Moldovan because in different languages it sounds like it's bad, it sounds like a racist slur or something, but not really, and
I mean it's not, but it sounds like it. So that's why when we're out and about, we kind of stay away from talking in our language and certain aspects.
And I don't see why that's a bad thing. Me growing up now, if anything, I like embracing that I can speak other languages. First of all, there's things that I don't want other people to understand or, hear. Mm-hmm. Especially me knowing Russian and Moldovan, I could flip to one group and talk in Russian, and that group doesn't understand Moldovan, and I could talk with this group in Moldovan, and that group doesn't understand Russian, or vice versa. It's cool, but I don't know. Like I was raised like that, and then also we were raised, really in a conservative way. Certain clothes we would have to wear. I went to a private school. My dad had the opportunity of bringing us to a good Christian school. But see, that kind of it was a good thing. I was one of the first 5 or 7 kids in that school. It was all good. But then when I got older, I sort of noticed that I started having an accent in English. Like I do a little bit. People still understand that I'm not American, but I was born here, you know? Or certain way I dressed, certain things I did, certain, like as I told you, lunch, you know, like wings or some. But I don't know why our parents sort of divided us. Not divided us, but I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like there's things that they um, took too hard, like clothes, for
Yeah.
instance. I wasn't able to wear ripped jeans, you know,
Me
and
neither.
it's not just because we're in a Christian. It's just like you sort of when you're wearing ripped jeans. This is the philosophy or the thought process that my parents had is you look like you're a bum or a homeless
And like
person.
same thing, going to church. Like, oh, you can't wear ripped jeans. You can't wear that. You got to be look formal and stuff like that. And like when I used to go out and hang out with my friends too, they're like, why are you taking these ripped jeans and stuff? Put something better on, cover your knees. I mean, this is nothing like sexual or anything, but they're like, oh, cover yourself. Be modest.
Yeah.
Modest is hottest, as
And
they
the thing
say.
is, modest is also really a big word. Different people interpret it differently, especially biblically. Like modest, what? Modest is what the models wear now. You know, like it's different from or the clothes that are in fashion right now. You know, it's different from what it was before. You see, especially in our church, older generation be wearing, way more different clothes, way more, hidden, and everything is just sort of, I don't know, like the pants, for instance, women to wear pants. It was such a big thing, bro. Like, especially in school, I think we were raised with pants are allowed, but I even seen to this day some people just sort of make their kids wear pants, skirts. Like girls to wear skirts in school, like that. That's sort of. I understand you got to embrace your culture, but at the same time, if your kid wants to wear pants, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If your daughter wants to wear pants, and me personally in church, there is some things I don't agree with, like wearing ripped jeans to church. Yeah, no, I understand. Jesus loves us the same way. Nothing changes, but it just sort of makes other people that are really conservative kind of, in a way, look at you differently or think it's a sin, and that's where it's a problem. You know, and that's why a lot of churches in the new era or this during this time they're that wear like more loose clothes or shirts that have a rip. I have nothing against that, but you go into my old church where it's more conservative, you're gonna get talked about it left and
Yeah.
right from grandmas and grandpas. It's just a thing.
Yeah, you wear like you go to some churches that are still traditional Slavic churches, and if you wear like ripped jeans or like not like formal clothes, they'll look at you funny and they'll like be like, "Yo, why are you wearing this? Wear something nicer, wear something more formal." Like I go to this Moldovan church sometimes, and you look at a Moldovan church compared to like an American church, and they both dress completely different. Like an American church, it doesn't matter what you wear, you can wear anything you want and it'll be fine. No one will look at you twice. But you go to a Moldovan church, if you're not dressed formally, everyone's gonna ask, why are you dressed like that?
No, 900% agree, and I hope we have like a pastor from maybe a local church, or maybe we'll get to that point where we have some greater names, But I do want to have that sort of talk and thought process that the other pastors have and what they think about our culture,
Yeah.
because it's bad, and that's one of the main things why churches divide. is because they can't find a common ground. They think just because drums are in church, oh shoot, it's a sin, and that's it.
Yeah, some of
And they
them,
don't do changes. And while we evolve as a humans, we have certain things now. We have cars. We have different. We could literally be at home and turn on online and
yeah.
watch church. And we evolve, and as humans, we should sort of implement some of those things in our church. And I agree, yeah, like, older generation, the music is too loud and stuff. Yeah, have respect, but it shouldn't sort of divide the church. Maybe do another service, stay in the church, stay in the same church, but have a separate service where it's just American speaking, or, a lot of churches do that, where they have one church, one service on a Sunday, where it's like only the older gen and Russian speaking. Then they have one just English, and they blast. But even then, they don't have the right to sort of play drums loud, or
Yeah.
And that's one of the main things why churches these days get divided.
Yeah, I mean, they get divided because they have different views on stuff, and some people want to, make it more modern. A lot of people want to keep it the same, don't change anything about it. I don't see nothing wrong with change. It just depends on what kind of change. Like, like you said, musically wise, I don't mind, having louder music
Yeah,
or
no, I'm like that
more
too.
bass, drums, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of like older people, like, they don't like that, they're like, oh, my day, we never had this kind of music and stuff like that. Like, they're, firmly planted, and they don't want to change how they've been listening to sermons or listening to music. They want to keep it like that. And then, yeah, and like the churches I went to, the Moldovan church, the pastor there said that the number one complaint he gets is the way people dress. Not like about other people and stuff like that, but like just the way people dress.
Yeah,
Is the number one
and
complaint.
I'm not against older people, and I hope when I'm older I sort of let my beliefs, because I've seen older Russians or older grandmas, grandpas from churches, Moldovan, Russian, Ukrainian, you name it, go to like a newer church. Like these new churches now that are like non-denominational, and they're fine with it, but I feel like they have to find this common ground, and that's a big thing in our culture. It's nothing has even, bro. I'm not just talking about churches. I'm talking about even older people. A lot of older people don't like certain things that the younger generation is doing, especially number. This is another one: changing your hair color. Like me as a guy. Imagine like there's a lot of guys that be switching their hair into like blonde or blue, or just it's like the thing now where not
For
everybody's
everyone,
doing it.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but bro, if I changed my hair to like a purplish whitish color, it would be the most
Controversial topic in the Slavic community.
I would walk into church and all the eyes and mouth would drop like
Pastor wouldn't even stop talking.
That's what I'm saying, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Not like for guys, in our community, if you change your hair or whatever, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Like, not like change your hairstyle, but like your color in general.
Yeah.
For girls, it doesn't really matter as long as you keep the regular colors, either like brown, blonde,
Yeah.
black, whatever. Not like purple, green, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
some churches where they're more like traditional, they're like don't get your ears pierced, don't
Yeah, that's another
do
one.
too much makeup, or don't
Yeah.
put like too bright of lipstick or whatever. I'm not a girl, so I don't really know, but that's things I've heard of.
Yeah.
And then some churches are like, oh, don't get your ears pierced, but if you're married, do whatever you want, as long as you abide to your husband. I don't know. It's different for every church,
Yeah.
different people,
Then,
but
we
in
have-
general, it's around the
I have
same.
nothing against that.
Yeah, me neither.
It's I go to a church that I want to go to, but I'm just saying why divides happen.
Yeah.
And that's a really bad thing. But at the same time, we have to, in a sort of grow.
Yeah.
into expect different things. Like, bro, we're talking about AI and all that stuff. There's probably preachers out there that use Chat GPT. You know,
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. I mean, it's the easiest way to find a verse. You, me personally, like, give me a verse talking about Moses building the ark or something. You know, it just pops up verses, or give me verse from the Bible where it talks about love or
Yeah.
something like that. You know, and I feel like we should just. I personally want to see what happens over the years, and hopefully when we get older, we won't be so. But I think we will because
Uh,
everything is changing, bro. It's
I mean, it
changing.
is changing, and we kind of grew up in that, you know, era where we're already kind of getting used to change. You know, like we grew up, our generation grew up on change. We were on the brink of change. And I think for us, that we will be acceptable to change more than our parents or our past generations. I mean, even my parents, they used to be like very strict on like the way I dress and certain like Slavic cultural norms. Over the
Yeah,
years, you know, they slightly like loosened up and let go. Like
yeah.
back when I was younger, they didn't let me play like, you know, FPS games, shooting games, stuff like that, because they thought like I'd
That's
turn
a
bad.
that's another one. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
to that right
they
now.
thought I'd turn
I'm
like
gonna get
into
to
a
that.
bad kid, or I'd like start shooting people and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it was just a game. I don't care about that. And then now they're like, they don't care, and like I always
It's not
had
that
like a
they don't care,
restriction.
bro. It's just they can't do a lot about it. What,
Well, yeah, they can, but even when I was younger, like when
bro?
I was like 18 or younger, they still like care. They're like, why are you playing these stupid games? But at the same time, they're like, you know, whatever. I don't see it as that bad anymore. Even my little brother, you know, he was playing shooting games at like, you know, younger than 16, and they didn't really care anymore because they just like kind of accepted like, oh, this, it's not the games that affect your mentality. It's like, you know, what's already in your head. And then what else? Forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah.
No, so you talking about the games, bro? I was raised. My dad, my mom were really against me having an Xbox or a PlayStation, bro. It was the biggest, in, in a way, sin, but in a way, it wasn't really like they were not letting me because it was sin, but mainly because they thought I was gonna, you know, get older and become like a freaking shooter or
Mm.
something, and all because of playing shooting games or playing games with like zombies or something, which I don't really like except like COD and stuff. Now we sort of grow up, but we don't have time for that no more.
Mm.
And that's one thing I wish I had, but I feel like if I did have it, my parents, they, if let's say if I did have it, it would really be a good idea for parents to take control of the time and stuff you spend on it. Because man,
Well, to a
it's
certain extent. I mean, it depends for everyone, but like for me, even when I was younger and I wasn't allowed to play these kind of games, I still found a way to get them and
no,
play
but
them.
I know, but I'm just saying you're gonna let your kid play 8 hours a day.
Oh no,
That's what
not
I'm
8 hours.
saying. And then
I had a
I
time
know
limit
kids like
too,
that. You know,
but I had a time limit too, but it was like super strict, and like my parents would put a password on my like computer and stuff like that, and they only send me like an hour
yeah,
a day, and that's it. And like certain, it depends like how strict the restrictions are, but like sometimes if you make it too strict, you know, you could want to play more, and you'll just become addicted because like you have like for me, I had strong restrictions, and because of those restrictions, I wanted to play more. And then once I got that ability to play more, sometimes I'd play too much, and I kind of like had an addiction to playing games at one point because like all I do is like get home from school and just play games. Thank God I'm over it now because I'd be
yeah.
super lazy if I'd still have that addiction.
You wouldn't be
But
where
like,
you are
yeah,
today, bro. I see that Audi part. I'm joking.
yeah. I mean, but when
That's
I
a
was 16,
stereotype right there. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Like how when our parents came here, the stuff they had to go through, like different technology and different things that we had opportunity to do and have and play sports and all that stuff
yep,
is you got to learn that as a parent. And one thing I'm gonna say is I really, really take my dad as an example, and I think you do too, or
oh
my
yeah,
parents in general. And I'm really happy and thankful for God, you know,
Blessing us with great
yeah,
parents.
yeah,
Cannot have
that
any
we're born in a family
different.
like that,
Yep.
you know. And I love my when I hear people like, "Oh, my dad is this" or "My mom is that." I'm like, bro, that's that's something you
Yeah,
gotta
like some
figure
people.
out because it's not gonna help you in life,
Yeah,
you
because
know.
some people they grow up and they're like, oh, I can't wait to get away from my parents and forget about them. Like a lot of
And that's
this generation
in
from
our
America, they don't
culture.
want
It
to.
was always close.
Yeah.
We were always close, right? But I've been seeing this thing happening now where a lot of people that get married or something, they're not as close as they are with their parents. Like me, and my dad, I could tell you how he raised me. First of all, and this is how I'm gonna raise my kid. I'm gonna raise my kid as one of my friends, best friends. I respect him, he respects me. That's how
Mm.
my dad was. I could name how many times my dad spanked me as a kid. Like I can. Like there was
Well, I
probably
got spanked when I was a kid.
no, I'm just
A
saying,
good
yeah, no,
amount
we
too.
got spanked, but it wasn't just because we did one stupid mistake. It was
Well,
because
yeah,
of
but
something that added
also
up.
like back
But I'm
then.
just gonna say, like, spanking wise, like probably like 3 or 4 times hard. You know, spanking something that I really did. Like I brought a knife to Sunday school or something, something stupid, bro. But I'm happy. I'm happy my dad sort of taught me
Hmm.
or was close with me. Like, and another thing is, uh, the way our you know when they say don't get married young and stuff. Honestly, I feel like that's a good thing. Let me
Nah, it
tell you why.
doesn't
Let
matter.
me tell you why.
I don't think it matters.
When you're closer with the age with a kid, I feel like that has a big influence. Like there's people that have kids when they're like the dads are like 35 or 38. Bro, it's a far distance between you and your firstborn. You know, and that creates sort of a big problem. And I've seen it everywhere. Like most parents, and because those people that had kids in our culture when they were like 48 in like 1990s or 40s, their thought process and the way they were raised, they were trying to implement that on their kids, while their kids were raised in America
They were growing
with
up in a different culture, different
yeah,
expectations.
different, you know, whole different atmosphere. And those things that, let me give you an example. So, like when you're in Moldova or when you were younger, you know, you keeping the electricity on was like a big no no. You use it, turn it off. You know, you just can't have it on, the lights on 24/7.
Yeah,
You
waste
know,
money.
but in America, bro, we use electricity everywhere all the time. It just keeps going. So that's, I don't know. Like that's a bad example. I was trying to think of a better one, but it just slipped out of my mind. But I'm just saying, like, they're the older you are, the bigger the generational gap is.
Yeah, you can't relate to your kids that much, so the sooner you have kids, the better. After marriage, of course, not before.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's since we're a Christian, we can't really produce kids before marriage.
Yeah, we
That's a
can't go to
sin.
the factories just yet.
That's not in just our culture. I mean, the Asian culture and Indian and you know different cultures. Even in American, especially like conservative people, they have that
I mean, mainly just religious backgrounds.
yeah,
They're always
yeah,
like that, but even people in religious backgrounds slip up too.
yeah.
But
But yeah, bro. Well, I feel like in this podcast we'll be talking about more and more about our culture. You know, we didn't hit all the topics. There's our points. There's so many things that is happening, and I don't think America knows. Well, not that America doesn't know. It's just our thought process,
yeah,
our ways of thinking, our ways of living, our you know different different ways of life. And I think we'll talk about it more and more and more with different topics. With you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. But main one, I want to get into. We talk a little bit about religion. Hopefully, in next podcast, somewhere we'll have someone on the guest, and we'll discuss and maybe even debate some topics. I really want to see what a American pastor and a Russian pastor, or someone from our community, the different ways of thinking and about religion. But yeah, I mean that's it for today, right?
Yeah, I mean we covered enough for today.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot more
one.
we could talk about, but I feel like we'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get there. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for listening and
watching.
To this point of
Hopefully you guys enjoyed
video.
it.
Yeah,
And,
hopefully you enjoyed it.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yep. Take care. God bless.
Take care.